Okay, guys. Hope you are able to hear me properly. In case there is any issues, please do let us know in the live chat replay. I'll try to address the issues as soon as possible. Now, cat is like, I mean, day after tomorrow is cat. So as we are all accustomed to taking notes from the topper, so we said like, who better than Sharma ji ka ladka to actually give us notes for the final exam. Actually, he's written huge number of books. So what we will do is we will just check with him and see if are there any specific chapters from his books which he wants people to go through in the last 1.5 days. Because I mean, everyone's urge is, let me try to do the max in the last 1.5 days. What would you suggest? What are the things from your books which
Actually,
people
quite
should?
quite the opposite. Put my books away now. You've lived with them through the years. Put them away. See, basically, the logic is very simple. This is not a last day exam. I
That's
mean,
true.
if you were doing your college exams, etc., you're doing your board exams. If you don't study in the last day, it's disaster. I would not have passed my college if I had not studied last days. But when you talk about cat is a skill game, right? So it's not about portion, and it's not about कि chapter पढ़े तो उसमें से question आएगा. So it's not like that. It's about skills. Have you developed your skills on every topic? Have you developed your reactions on every topic? And last minute you don't develop any new skills. So it's not going to happen that you study something today. It's going to come in. It's going to help you day after tomorrow. So let's forget it. So,
Okay.
so as I said in your engineering in my engineering exams, college exams, if I had taken this approach, I would have failed all my 8 semesters. But inside CAT, it's not going to be last minute study is not going to help you at all. So put your books away. Focus. I mean, it's more about managing your energies last 2 days. So it's about getting your beliefs in place. I mean, you have to go back to your beliefs, and inside the exam, there'll be three kinds of questions based on what level of skill you are. There'll be one question type in each section. One type of question which will be above your skill level. So you'll have to recognize that and duck away from that. There'll be one question type if you want to maximize your score at your levels, whatever it is. And there's still a lot of, I mean, while skill can't be changed, your performance is completely dependent on how you think and behave, and gear yourself up in the last 2 days, and then go and do it in the last 2 hours.
Okay. So given that this is what the agenda is on the uh, of how to do for the last 2 days, are there any predictions that you have for cat? I mean, you have seen cat for like 20-25 years now. So
Mhm.
uh, have you had any cases where you predicted cat and it turned out to be exactly what it is? And have you had a case where you predicted cat and it turned out to be completely opposite? I'm pretty sure you would have had both the cases, but
See, I don't personally believe in predicting CAT because what I do is what I tell my students also to prepare for where I teach is essentially that you have to be prepared for a. I mean, see, the broadly, let's say we talk about VRC. So what can happen? They can increase the difficulty level, they can keep the difficulty level same, or they can go down the difficulty level. They can tamper with a few question types and change a couple of question types here and there. But will they change the skills being tested? I don't think so. Right? So if the skill being tested in VRC has been comprehension, I mean that's the only skill being tested in VRC the last 4, 5, 7 years. In fact, 7, 8 years. So I don't see any reason why they'll change that definition of what they're looking for in an IM grad.
so you're saying straight away, no sentence correction, no fill in the blanks,
Yeah,
nothing.
I would not think so. But if there are there, I'll react to them and solve them I can't study anything anyway today to be able to do two sentence correction questions day after tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I mean, in my preparation, I should have taken care of sentence correction because you're not just preparing for CAT. There are other exams which do give you. So you have some skill level at that. If it comes, react. You just react like a machine. A machine does not get happy or sad. Let's say there's a machine making widgets. So does the machine get happy that I made a very nice widget? So let me be very happy when I make the next one. Or suppose it makes a faulty widget, does it get sad about the last widget? No, it just goes out and performs the next one. So you just have to keep reacting to the exam. Because why it is important is because you have trained your reactions through the year. You have not trained anything else but your reactions. So your reactions have to play out.
Okay.
I mean, if you have played any sport, you must have heard a coach shouting to his ward. I played a lot of tennis, so I know वो कोच चिल्लाता रहता है बगल से, हाथ मत रोको, हाथ मत रोको, हाथ मत रोको,
Okay.
टू हिज ट्रेनिंग इन द मैच. वो हाथ रोकने का मतलब कि हाथ नहीं रुकता, उसका दिमाग रुक रहा है, बिकॉज ही इज ट्रेन फॉर अ सर्टेन रिएक्शन. बॉल उसके सामने आ रही है तो ही इज ट्रेन हाउ टू हिट इट बैक. But when the mind starts playing tricks on you, you start having doubts and fear, and those things start coming into your mind. So instead of what you've trained for, your hand does not operate the way it should. And that's exactly what you don't want in a match, because in the match you want your trained version to come in. So
That's true.
CAT is exactly like that. You want your trained version to be operating for 2 hours inside the CAT, not the
Okay.
untrained version. So coming back to your question, what is my prediction? So I've got this prediction: English can go tougher, can remain same, or can go down. Your preparation should have been such
I
that
think
it,
this.
it
I think the
can.
same will hold true for maths and LRD.
Yes, yes, exactly. So there are nine possibilities of the paper, 27 possibilities, 3 into 3 into 3, right? So any one of those will happen, and
Okay.
whichever happens, it should be an advantage for you.
Okay.
Your preparation should have been such कि मैथ्स टफ हो जाए तो मेरा एडवांटेज है, मैथ्स इजी हो जाए तो मेरा एडवांटेज है, और मैथ्स सेम रहेगा तो भी मेरा एडवांटेज है. नहीं तो you'll be like the Indian cricket team of the 90s, which will only be able to win on
On
spinning
spin
pitches.
tracks, yeah.
And जैसे ही घुटने के ऊपर बॉल आएगा तो they don't know how to bat and how to play. So you don't want to be like that in the CAT. It will be a dead duck
Yeah.
to the variations that the CAT gives.
Okay. That said, there are other possibilities also. There is, besides just the variation in difficulty level, CAT has a set pattern for the last 3-4 years, but now this year they have reduced the timing. How much do you think the timing is going to affect?
It
The
logically
amount of time
it
is
should get you
compressed.
it should get you to 2/3 this thing. So 2 hour CAT is not unheard of. We have all seen that
Of
in the
course,
times.
it's
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And in fact, a lot of people are very scared about the fact that CAT has not released how many questions there are. I was telling people on my own YouTube channel the other day that हम लोग तो बहुत बार CAT में गए, पता नहीं रहता था कितने sections आने वाले हैं.
Most of the time, you don't even know whether it's going to be a differential marking. Like
You
we had,
remember? I don't know
yeah.
whether you were in the CAT space at that time. 1996,
No,
CAT went from a four section exam. 93, 94,
yeah.
95, CAT was a 4 section exam.
Uh,
96, you enter the paper and you see it's a 2 section exam, right?
that's
96,
true.
97, it was a 2 section exam. 98, you enter the paper, it became a 3 section exam. So उस time तो section भी नहीं पता रहता था कितना है.
And
Section
then
भी
the
भूल गए.
worst part was after the CAT examination, suppose somebody had to take the CAT again, you didn't even have percentiles to see whether you actually
Yeah, were
ended
close
up,
or not. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
how
Percentile
close you were actually.
2003 के बाद आने लगा
Yeah,
percentile.
2003, after 2003
हाँ.
it came up. So, but that said, I mean, like people of today's age will actually judge on the basis of what they have seen in the last 4, 5, 6 years. So, unfortunately, because of the information that we have, we sometimes forget a slightly older versions. But at the same time, because we are so much engrossed with the same pattern, everyone is like attuned to 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, and then suddenly you have to shift the game.
So you have to be flexible. I mean, that's the whole game of management. When you go ahead and you become vice president at Amazon, you're not going to have fixed variables.
That's
All
true.
the variables are going to change. So you have to be able to adapt to it. And in fact, the bet. I mean, if I was in place of people giving the CAT this year, so I would be very happy about the uncertainty, because for a well-prepared aspirant, the uncertainty is actually an advantage, because he is ready for a 100-question exam. He's ready for a 60-question exam. He's worked out all the strategies beforehand.
Okay.
Right. So in fact, one people should be very happy if you since you don't know how many questions there are. A lot of people, there's a lot of conversation going around. Slot 2 में advantage हो जाएगा लोगों को. So I said that's all crap, because you'll be normalized for your slot.
That's true.
And the performance of your slot, if you're in slot 1, will be lower than performance of slot 2 and slot 3.
But people always like to believe stories which are, which support their claims. People don't want to hear the facts, right?
which support their point of view.
Yeah.
So, and a
Okay.
lot of
So
people are peddling this point of view.
that said, there is one more thing which is there. I mean, you've also written about normalization, and I think 2009, 10, maybe even 11 were probably the dark days of normalization, where there used to be like 30, 40 slots across.
Yeah.
I mean, CAT used to be like a 1 month paper,
I
right?
seriously had lost respect for the CAT paper.
Yeah. So, I mean, it
I
is
have
not as
respect.
bad as those days, right? And even from 2 to 3 slots, I don't think that's going to change quite a bit.
No, it's not. I don't. I mean, see, slot one might have more of a variation, more of a dip because people will have to react. And I've seen a CAT, just I was telling you, CAT 98 minute went to 3 sections, and 2 hours, 2 sections, tha CAT 97. Everybody had done their mock test on 2 hour, 2 sections. When they went into the CAT, nobody had an idea that three sections aa jayega. And the 2 hour, 2 section ka strategy used to be, and there used to be no time limits at that time for the
That's true.
sections. So 2 hour, 2 sections would be one hour for the first section, 1 hour for the second section. So plus minus 5 minutes. So when it went to a 3 section exam, nobody, I mean, half the janta, I remember came out of the CAT not knowing कि पहला section में 40 minutes देना चाहिए था. So people could not modify their solving to that point that section one should be 40 minutes because it's 3 section 120 minutes. So what people did and what CAT did was they gave a very lengthy. They know how people behave. So what they did was they gave a very lengthy verbal paper, which could have easily taken an hour to solve. So Janta solved it for 60 minutes because they were used to solving 60 minutes of VRC. And then obviously 60 minutes में quants भी करना है, DI भी करना है, 55 questions per section थे. तो quants कितना भी जल्दी करो 40 मिनट 45 मिनट लग जाएंगे. और लास्ट 15 मिनट्स में DI पे आए तो DI कुछ दिखा ही नहीं क्या था. and what they did, and this that time it was a paper pen test. So all the tests used to have different order of questions, A, B, C, D, all the papers. But that was the only year where what CAT did was in all A, B, C, D, the last 25 questions were same. And the last 25 questions were simple read and solve syllogism questions. You'd barely take 10 minutes to solve 25 questions. So when I came out of the paper, I was a young teacher at that time, third year, fourth year of teaching. I came out of the paper, I told people that ये syllogism तो बहुत आसान था, इसको क्यों नहीं कर लिया? So the general answer I got from everybody I talked to was
पहुंचे ही नहीं, देखा ही नहीं.
नहीं कहाँ था? I don't know. अच्छा syllogism था क्या? It was news to them कि नहीं था. It was there.
I think that's the worst feeling that you can get at the end of the exam, that when one of your friends actually tells you, this was such an easy question, and you realize, was he writing the same paper as I was?
So these
and
people
you
had
did
not
even
reached
reach
it because they could not reach question 141.
Yes.
141 to 165 was syllogisms, and they have not reached it because they had spent all the time in verbal.
Okay.
So that is going to happen in the first slot this year.
Couple of questions before I finish it off. I mean, I know you are pretty busy and you are running across.
Yeah, CAT week is quite tight.
So the first one is there is COVID situation over here, and there are people who are required to wear masks and stuff like that. And there are a lot of people who are probably not considering taking CAT this year for a lot of reasons, not because they are not prepared, but also because they live with somebody who might be at risk if they go out and take a test. And you can always postpone, I mean, your MBA preparation by 1 year. Graduation may not be the case, IIT JEE may not be the case, but MBA can be postponed by a year. Do you think that is going to affect the number of test takers in any which ways from your past experience?
Maybe 3 to 5% drop hoga maximum.
Okay.
So normally, I think of the total people who register, around
about 20 to 25,000 don't end up
taking. So it might go up to 28-30,000.
But so that's, I mean, that 25,000 also includes people who had to register twice because they made an error in the CAT paper.
Yeah.
There are quite a few people over there.
So
also.
Maybe 5,000 people might not further go because there'll be a trend of people who will not be giving it. And obviously, but most of those people will be the unprepared people also.
That's true.
Because if I'm prepared well and I'm doing well, I would rather take that risk. And
that is true.
And it's not the first exam that's happening. So there have been other exams that have been conducted pre-CAT, and there's been no major outbreaks related to either the IIT exams or the medical exam that happened. No major, at least well publicized outbreaks happened there of COVID. So I think that's something which maybe some people, yes, of course. I think if I'm not prepared, I'm not doing well in my exams, and I think it's a risk to go in, so I'll not go.
The second question which I wanted to ask was, You have seen all types of students who are really prepared, students who are not prepared at all, and students who are prepared but not confident. Now, when there is even a slight change in the type of questions or the pattern of questions, there is a urge, and especially in the people who are lesser prepared, to just completely change their strategy. They freeze, right? Whereas the people who are really well prepared, they continue it as a straight examination. What is your suggestion for people for not freezing against that shock factor which is there, the first 2 minutes
like
that you get?
Between you and the question, there should be nothing, no trash coming in between. So you have to be in a reactive state in the exam completely. Questions will give you triggers. CAT question will always tell you what to do. They tell you how to solve them. It's all there inside the question only. So you don't need to get information from outside to solve it. So they'll keep telling you what to do, and you have to just react to the clues. This thing, and that's what you've trained yourself for. You've done thousands of questions because you're training yourself for that. So you allow your reactions to take over on the day. Don't allow any emotions to come in. Even happiness is a bad emotion. I missed my 100 percentile in CAT 2018 because I got very happy about a question I saw, 2 questions actually, which I went wrong with in CAT 2018. So what happened in my CAT 2018 attempt was my DI started very badly, but then I could
recover very
that,
easy. Yeah.
and I ended up getting 100 percentile in DI. So once I was over DI, I thought कि मैं English तो बहुत English crack कर ले, ये कर ले, SL 100 आराम से, because I had a score of 230 in mind. So quants was very tough, but I was able to manage, and I ended up solving 28 questions, and I got 26 of them right. 2 went wrong. DI I solved 25 questions, and which one was the last second guess.
A Tita sort of thing.
So 24 or 25 right there. All the questions I solved were correct. And 28 questions that I solved in quants, 2 questions which I'll solve in my sleep, I got them wrong. Because I got very happy that song started playing in your head. Wow, this is such an easy question.
It happens.
And you can't have any emotions in the picture.
So
and that cost me 100 percentile, because
in one just
12 people 100 percentile that year. Last year 20 देते थे. तो मैं 230 पे close हुआ, मेरा 228 पे रह गया. So any emotions, you don't get any emotions between you and the question. Happiness is also bad. And of course, nervousness and sadness and depression and negative thoughts are of course bad. It's difficult to do, but people who do that for the maximum amount of time are the people who win.
So in one shot, you're asking people to be Arjun and giving them the preaching of Duryodhana as well. The teacher. Which is,
yeah.
So, okay. Thank you, Sharma ji, for coming in over here. Guys, if you are interested in Arun Sharma's courses, please do look at the link in the description of this video. You can also find him on YouTube. Basically, you search Arun Sharma, you will find him as well. Thank you very much for joining in, guys. If you like this channel, please do subscribe. We'll see you soon with other previews.
It's a pleasure to always
Thank you, sir.
With you. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me just stop this.